Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's One Piece Treasure Cruise video, we are going to test the new Login Bonus trading card game Luffy from the One Piece trading card game as a captain versus 4 different dex raids which are available to farm every Tuesday, and of course they are also unlockable from the Recollection archive if you want to farm them another day. Without further ado, let's draw Luffy from our deck and put him captain in One Piece Treasure Cruise. First raid we are going to face is raid Judge, the easiest out of this bunch. For this team we are going to use a friend captain V3 Akainu, and we have brought treasure map Zoro along so he can completely take out stage 3 without us needing to attack by activating his specials. Of course, with maximum despair sockets. What we want to do in stage 4 is activate treasure map Momonosuke so he completely removes despair, and we have him in the left column so he can take a guaranteed Wano slot on himself through a block slot. Then we want to make certain we are on Akainu from treasure map Akainu Fujitora, and we activate him to take out all of the barrier mobs. Then with the second activation of treasure map Zorojuro, we clear the stage completely. After blood, sweat and tears, we are now in the final stage versus the man himself, Judge. And for this specific stage, we only have 2 specials to activate. V3 Akainu comes first for a conditional attack boost and an attack boost. For our second special, we want to activate Strength Rare Recruit Brook for a Color Affinity boost and to manipulate the block slots into guaranteed matching. Now we have a guaranteed strength slot to break Judge's barrier, and we activate Luffy's super dive as well, because why not? And now it's time to break the barrier and defeat our first raid boss. Our second raid is raid Crocodile, a pretty tough raid when it came out. For this quest we are going to use versus Ace as a friend captain who can resist special rewind in stage 3 and is very helpful. You want to do your stalling in the first 2 stages and try to take as less damage as possible, because the more HP we have, the more we can overheal in stage 4. In stage 3 we don't stall, we want to take everyone out as soon as possible. In stage 4 we are going to face off against Mr. 1 Dash Bones. What we want to do first is activate Luffy's special to reduce the opponent's defense to 0. Then we want to activate Ace's special to get a full board of guaranteed matching slots and an ore boost for all of our units. Finally, we want to activate the Oiran trio with Nami, Boa and Robin to overheal and be able to survive Crocodile's damage in the next stage. The color affinity they provide does not matter. Now we are ready to attack, starting from the mobs, trying to hit as many perfects as possible to also take out Dash Bones of course, and have in mind that we didn't take Ace's chain boundaries, only his ore boost, so make certain you don't mess up here. In the final stage now things are very simple. After Dash Bones is defeated, he clears all of our beneficial effects, and we are also special binded, which is not really an issue. Crocodile now will HP cut us, and then after the preemptive is complete we will also be applied with end of turn damage. Thankfully, because of our overheal, we can survive. Now we will activate treasure map Stussy first to remove special bind and get a color affinity boost. Then Kizuna, Halloween, Rebecca to get a chain boost and get threshold to survive the end of turn damage after Crocodile's defeat. And then we want to activate Toki, targeting our captains. Finally comes the super type of our captain card Luffy to give everyone an attack boost and himself a guaranteed matching slot. Now we attack Crocodile based on slots to super easily defeat him. He will apply damage to us, and he will also slot bind all of our units except the captains, who also evade despair because they are in the Toki Toki state. Time now to attack Crocodile again, starting from the units that have slot bind, ending on the 2 captains who are highly likely to have a matching slot to clear the quest and beat our second raid boss. Next up we are going to defeat raid Bonney. For this team we are going to use Summer Vivi as our friend captain, and stalling here is a bit tricky. In stage 1 we want to take out all of the front row mobs because they actually do a lot of damage, and then stall on the turtle and the 2 Q mobs. For our dual unit Nami Usopp, we want to enter on Usopp because we are planning to super swap to Nami in the final stage. There, orb manipulation is interruptible, so having Usopp and Nami in the middle row is definitely helpful for beneficial slots. Something to also have in mind, Zoro is not a cerebral or a shooter unit, hence why I have him bottom left, because even with a matching slot he doesn't get the color affinity boosting from Usopp and Nami's special, hence he is doing less damage, so we don't really want him to have a matching slot, it doesn't matter. In addition to that, the unit I have under Nami and Usopp, Pirate Rumble Ace, is only here because he is strength and shooter or cerebral. You can replace him with whatever unit you want. In stage 2, we want to take out everyone in one turn, because they actually apply debuffs if they stay alive, so proceed as soon as possible by hitting everyone. Now in stage number 3, we can do a bit more stalling, but it's not really necessary if you stalled enough in the first stage. Something important is to have the super swap of Nami Usopp ready for the final stage, so make certain across the 4 first stages you also do 4 swaps. Attack the units with the correct timing depending on the barrier, and then of course defeat them as soon as possible, starting from the strength mobs, because if left alive they will blind you, which will of course make it harder to then break the barriers and proceed. But even if you take some attacks here, it's not a big deal. In stage 4, we are going to face off against Sentomaru and 4 Pacifistas. His preemptive will essentially provide Sailor Despair, so our Sailor abilities are inactive from now onwards. He will provide us with technically non-favorable slots, and then he will apply attack up and defense up to himself. We want to do the final swap for the super swap of Nami Usopp, so we are ready for the final stage, and then we will activate our Captain Special to reduce the opponent's defense to 0. Luffy will also apply some damage, and then we want to activate our friend Captain Special for a 3-turn ore boost. Finally, the reason we have Treasure Map Zorojuro here is to activate him twice, so he can take out all of the Pacifistas and do significant damage to Sentomaru. Now of course, we are ready to attack and very easily proceed to the final stage. The difficult mechanic of this boss is that Bonney will give us special bind, but she will also bind our captains, so Vivi cannot reduce it with her captain ability, and we can also not evade it with sailor abilities. So we will super swap Usopp to Nami and they will remove special bind on themselves. Then we will activate them to remove it from everyone else as well. We will activate Summer Air Recruit Koala to remove the bind from our captains alongside bind sockets, and then we want to activate the super type of Luffy to get an attack boost for everyone. We also have the color affinity boost and the adjacent matching slots from Nami Usopp and steal the ore boost from Vivi. We start attacking, taking out the mobs and then Bonney to defeat another boss. TCG Luffy's final challenge is the most difficult one versus Raid Summer Jinbe. In this quest we are using 6-star Gear 5 Luffy as our friend captain we stole in the first 2 stages, and in stage number 3 versus Chopper we want first up to break the barrier and of course get rid of all of the block slots, ending our attacks on Yamato, who is the only unit that has color advantage over the Q enemy. We resisted blindness because of Treasure Map Frankie's Sailor ability, and in turn 2 we want to break the barrier again and this time inflict more damage to Chopper, who we plan to take out in turn number 3, because it will be super easy to do so, especially if Yamato gets a matching slot along the way, but we also want to stall out the perfect harder to hit debuff he applies in his turn 2, so we don't carry it over in the next stage. Turn 3, we break the barrier once more, defeat him and proceed. We are going to find Zoro and Sanji in stage 4, and we want to activate 2 specials after their preemptive. First is Summer Treasure Map Frankie, who will deal with literally every debuff on the stage with his defense up removal and his chain lock. Then, to have enough damage in order to beat Zoro and Sanji, we want to activate the special of Versus Shanks for a full board of guaranteed matching slots, an ore boost and also a base attack boost on our Sai units. We attack, ending on the Sai units to defeat the mini-boss. Something to note in case you're wondering, we do not need to max out the versus ability of Shanks nor the special ability of Yamato. In the final stage, Jinbe will become Q, which is not the best thing for our card Luffy, but the rest of the team can deal with it. After his preemptive, we will resist both the special rewind and the bind because of our friend captain Gear 5 Luffy, and we want to activate our card Luffy to remove Jinbe's damage reduction completely. I am also using V2 Brook support on Luffy to get a damage reduction shield so Yamato can provide her unique attack boost. I don't really think it is necessary, but I did it just to be safe with damage. We want to activate versus Yamato's special to manipulate all of the block slots and get an attack boost. Then we want to activate the EX super special first of our friend captain Gear 5 Luffy, so he gets into the Gear 5 state, and then we want to activate his special to get a color affinity boost and also a NOR boost. With his EX super, he makes Sai slots have more of a damage output than Wano slots, and that is exactly the reason why I have placed Yamato in the right column, so she doesn't get a Wano slot from her own special and she can have a Sai slot. We want to start attacking with our card Luffy and Shanks, because they don't do a lot of damage, then with the rest of the Sai units ending on Yamato if her attack is even necessary to beat Jinbe for the first time. He will revive, also applying a captain swap with a random crewmate. Whoever becomes captain, we will be fine. The only problem is that if Franky becomes captain, he cannot remove blindness again with his sailor ability, so we need to attack through blindness. Here V3 Law becomes captain, so it's perfect. And I think with Franky, Law also does not apply chain boundaries. Law is the only special we want and we can activate because of the special limiter for matching slots, an NOR boost and chain boundaries, and we are ready to attack Jinbe, this time ending on our Sai units because he became Int, and defeat him for the second and final time to clear TCG Luffy's hardest and final challenge. And that was today's One Piece Treasure Cruise video. If you enjoyed it and you want to see more like it, definitely leave a like or a comment letting me know. But as always, thank you so much for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.